You were dumped into the middle of the Amazon like a wet piece of afterbirth. No welcome cries, no one to cut the cord, and definitely no mom sticking around to show you how to survive. She gave birth, turned around, and slithered off without a second glance. At that moment, you were maybe 2 feet long, weighing just zero point 0.7 pounds. Small, soft, kind of cute, and also ridiculously delicious looking to every predator around. Big birds, baby crocs, jaguars. Everybody wants a bite of you for lunch. But you're not the type to be bullied easily. You know how to hide in the underbrush. It's instinct. Your mottled skin, greens, browns, and flashes of yellow, blends perfectly into the forest shadows, so it's able to help you slip into water, glide through it like a ghost. No lessons, no textbooks, just instinct and the ultimate drive to stay alive. One mistake, and you're someone's appetizer, and you're not ready to be on the menu for sure. After a few days of lying low, dodging the sun, and more importantly, dodging to be eaten, you realize you're starving. It's time to stop hiding and start hunting. Time to become a real predator. And now, you begin stalking tiny fish. Your senses, though being in development period, are sharp enough to notice one swimming by. Perfect target. You ease in slowly, then snap, one lightning-fast strike, and boom, your first victory. But success doesn't last long. Next up, you lunge for a plump frog mid-area and end up biting into a soggy tree branch instead. Faceplant, straight into the mud. Delicious. But every failure teaches something. You learn to move silently, to control your muscles, and most importantly, how to strike and squeeze the prey. The first time you wrapped around a young capybara, it kind of shocked you. It thrashed harder than you expected. But you held tight and waited, and then you got it. Squeeze until the breathing stops. Then swallow whole. Your skin became your silent partner. With scales patterned like old leaves and wet earth, you practically disappeared into the jungle. And just like that, you made it through your first year. From a squishy little noodle, you grew to nearly 5 or 6 feet long, weighing in at 2 to 6 pounds, finally big enough that birds stopped thinking of you as takeout. Now, you're the hunter, not the meal. When you get bigger, so does your prey. It's an unspoken rule of being a snake. By the time you're around 4 years old, stretching 13 feet long and weighing in at 20 to 65 pounds, you're officially upgrading your menu. Capybaras, the planet's biggest rodents, fat water birds, and baby caimans. But don't get cocky. Size doesn't mean invincible. One time, you tried taking down a chill capybara munching grass. It turned back and dragged you across the river like you were water skiing without the skis. Total embarrassment. Then there was the day you were lying half submerged, starving, when something swam by. You struck fast, wrapped it tight, and then... electric eel. It zapped you so hard your whole body froze up, limp as a dead phone with no signal. You didn't die, but your pride literally broke. From then on, anything shiny and slow-moving? Nope. Hard pass. Even as a giant snake, not everything is meant to be swallowed. One evening, you were waiting by the riverbank when you saw another anaconda get its skull crushed by a jaguar. Quick, clean, not even a hiss. You slithered away quietly, only to stumble on a bizarre scene. Another anaconda locked in a deathmatch with a caiman, fighting over a deer. Hissing, splashing, full action movie chaos. You just sighed. Grown snakes, fighting like kids over cake. It's clear the jungle's getting crowded. Jaguars, caimans, your fellow anacondas, everyone's hungry, everyone's got muscle. Therefore, you're not looking to become collateral damage in a battle where no one really wins. It's time to move on. Find new territory, more prey, less drama. At 5 years old, you're absolutely radiant, by Amazon anaconda standards, of course. Nearly 15 feet long, weighing between 88 and 132 pounds, your skin glistens like mossy moonlight. And more importantly, it's dating season. When the time is right, you start releasing pheromones, a seductive little chemical whisper that says, "Hey, I'm ready." Not long after, from every patch of brush, muddy bank, and shadowy jungle corner, male anacondas start slithering towards you, like they just got invited to an all-you-can-eat buffet. Together, you form what scientists literally call a breeding ball, a tangled knot of males wrapped around you like overcooked spaghetti. Whose limb is that? Oh right, we don't have limbs. The whole thing feels strange, claustrophobic even, but it's romantic in your kind of way. You all stay curled together for hours, sometimes an entire day. And when it's over, you exhale relieved, but also starving. Because love burns calories. You glance around. Your many suitors, half your size, scrawny, exhausted. One's panting near your tail. And well, he looks kind of tasty, so you eat him. Maybe two of them. You're not heartless, you're just very hungry. Female anacondas sometimes eat their mates after breeding. Sounds brutal, sure, but in the wild, survival always trumps sentiment. Full and satisfied, you're ready for the next phase. Pregnancy, and carrying around a belly full of baby snakes for the next half year. After recharging after mating season, and well, your post-romance protein snack, you're ready to find a quiet corner of the jungle to begin the next chapter. Motherhood with woe. Full belly, calm mind. But life rarely follows the plan. The roar of bulldozers and feller bunchers tears through the forest. The ground shakes. The air reeks of burning oil. You slither toward the place you'd chosen to give birth, only to find it gone. Trees toppled, earth torn up, mud churned to sludge. Your ancestors are probably shaking their heads beneath the soil. Birds scatter in panic. Monkeys scream from broken canopies. Fish leap from the river as if trying to escape the chaos. You can't give birth here. You can't stay. You're an Amazonian giant, not built for city life. So you move, slithering away from the noise, away from the steel tracks ripping through the roots of your home. Your belly is growing heavier by the day. You need to find a clean stream, a patch of untouched green, a place where your babies can be born into something better. But unlike many other species, you don't lay eggs and wait for them to hatch. Nope, you carry them inside you for a full 7 months. The babies hatch while still inside your body. Sounds like sci-fi? For a green anaconda, it's just biology. You don't eat during this entire time. Not because you're going on diet to keep shape, but because your digestive system basically shuts down to make room for the dozens of growing babies inside you. Your body grows heavy. It goes from 130 to nearly 200 pounds. Now imagine dragging that weight across the swampy forest floor, pregnant belly taking up half your body length. Every slither feels like a crash course in extreme fitness. You find a quiet spot, near a stream, shaded by trees, far from humans and predators. And your mood? All over the place. One minute you feel like randomly biting a turtle just to break the boredom. The next, you lie still for hours, watching leaves fall. Hungry, tired, moody. Who says humans are the only ones with pregnancy symptoms? You've lost track of how many days it's been. All you know is this. Inside you, an entire generation of baby anacondas is waiting to meet the world. Finally, the day arrives. You take a deep breath and begin. Splat, splat. 1, 2, 3. Maybe 20, maybe 40 tiny babies slide out of you like you're taking the world's most intense bathroom break. No ceremony, no cuddles, no one to hold them, no one to whisper, "Welcome to the world." You don't look back. They're on their own now. You've done your job. Give birth and move on. That's right. You're not the nurturing type. You're an anaconda, not the type of mother with hugs. You bring life into the world, then slither away. These babies will have to swim, hide, and survive, just like you did. One of them starts to slither. A few others wobble their way into the unknown. There's no instruction manual, no guardian watching over them. They'll figure it out, each in their own way. You don't need to turn around. You leave, disappearing into the thinning jungle, beginning another leg of your endless journey. And maybe, someday, you'll give birth again, before time finally catches up with you. Now, you're an old anaconda. At 10 years old, you've grown to 18 feet long and weigh around 220 pounds. On the outside, you still look strong, but deep down, you can feel the weight of fatigue creeping in. The years of hunting weren't easy. Your agility has slowed, and you're no longer the terrifying top-tier predator you once were. One day, you're lying by the stream, eyes locked on a deer grazing on the grass. You slither forward quietly, your body heavy and slow. You lunge, but miss. The deer bolts, escaping like a gust of wind. You stay still for a moment. The feeling of failure isn't the same as it used to be, back when you were younger, when everything felt effortless. And that's when you realize you've grown old. Sitting by the stream, the water flowing gently, you lie back on the earth, remembering the days when you were young and had to fight massive capybaras. You remember the times when you ate your mate after the fun was over. Then there were the days when the bulldozers and chainsaws, harvester, tore apart your jungle, but you still managed to slither away to safety. You survived. Those days, they were intense. Your life hasn't been easy, but at least it's given you experiences that no one else could ever have. The battles, the hunts, the valuable lessons. You've lived. You were once terrifying, but now it's more than hard to face the brutal truth. You're old. You lift your head, gazing at the distant sky, realizing with a quiet sigh, everything changes with time. But there's one thing that will always remain, the survival spirit within you, no matter what tomorrow brings. Now you're 12 years old. The years have left their mark on your body. You weigh around 154 to 176 pound now, compared to when you used to weigh 220 pounds. There are times when you feel a little tired from stretching yourself under the sun, but you still slither, still survive. You are an anaconda, a single mother, a silent assassin in the heart of the wild. You've lived a life full of challenges, a life you can be proud of. You never gave up, even if you were just one quiet presence in a world full of change. But now it's time for you to make room for the next generation. The generations of anacondas will continue to live the lives you once lived. Never give up.